Okay, so to get started, we need to actually define even and odd functions. I didn't put this in your words worth knowing, but I do want to put it in your foldable. An even function is a function where if you plug in a negative version of your variable, it's equal to the positive version of your variable. So basically, this is like some function where if you plug in -2, you get the same thing as if you plugged in +2. An example of this is like f of x equals x squared. You can think about that in a little thought bubble over here. If we plug in -2, we still get 4. If we plug in +2, we still get 4. So this is called an even function. X squared is an even function. But an odd function is a function where if you plug in a negative version of your variable, it makes your whole output negative. So an example of this might be x cubed. So f of x equals x cubed. If you put in f of -1, then you're going to get -1, which is the same thing as f of 1 with a negative sign in front of it. Okay, and if you're confused on these definitions, ask me tomorrow and we'll talk more about it again. But for now, just accept these like identities. Okay, so it's even if this occurs, it's odd if this occurs. All right, now let's go over here to our circle. Draw it in a coordinate grid. This is going to be a unit circle. And let's just draw a point P up here. And we're going to go T radians over. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. But let's also put another angle going -T radians. So it's the same size angle, just going in the negative direction. And we're going to call the point that lands on the circle Q. Since this is the same angle, just one's negative, then what that means is that P, let's say it's x comma y, is this, but Q is going to be the same x value, but a negative y value. So far, we've just established a graph. We've got two angles in the same graph, and they're the same size, going in opposite direction. Sorry, that's my phone. And, hold on a second. It's Tori again. Hello? Hello? Hey, I'm making another video. Yeah. Yes. No, it's still going. So I have to go. Do you want to say hi to my class? Okay, bye. He said no, he didn't want to say hi. Okay, so anyways, so far we've just established we have two angles, one going in the positive direction, one going in the negative direction. They're the same size, which means they're going to have the same point, except this one's going to be negative y because we're going down instead of up. Okay, here comes the trick. So, since we know this coordinate is x and y, then we could say that this coordinate could also be called, write this over here. This coordinate could also be called cosine of t, sine of t. Now let that sink in for a second. The reason why this is true is the same reason this up here was true. Since x and cosine of t are equal, that means they're the same thing. So when we write our coordinate, we can write it like this, or we could write it like this. Now let's take a look at Q. X comma negative y means that that's going to become can't write today. Going to become cosine of t comma negative sine of t, because it was negative y.